So hey, did you ever get your hands on those power converters? Oh hey, hello there everybody. Welcome to the Cantina. We do serve your kind here, and it's time to talk about gear farming in 2024. That's right. It's really challenging. It's constantly changing. Where do you get the gear? Where's the best place to farm the gear? Relic gear. What is the fastest and best way to farm relic gear in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes? Let's take a look at it right now, my 2024 gear farming guide. Well, greetings and hello there, everybody. It's me, your beloved Star Wars dad, Nooch Too Good, here with my 2024 gear farming guide for Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. A lot has changed since last year. It seems like it's always changing, but let's jump right in. Let's talk about where you can farm all this gear with a heavy emphasis on the Gear 12 finishers and the Relic gear. We're going to definitely get to all of that as we go through this guide. We're going to be very thorough, try to go through the whole thing. But before we jump in and talk about that, I just want to say a very basic thing that seems like everyone should be doing it, but you've got to be doing all of the extra stuff in the game that gets you all the gear. The daily challenges, the galactic challenges, conquest. Here's a galactic challenge right here. You gotta be doing this. Conquest, what else we got? Territory battles, territory wars, Grand Arena, all of these other game modes, all of the game modes that you play and participate in will give you lots of other gear, lots of gear that you need to take you along your journey, and will kind of cut off the farms for you in general. So make sure you're participating in all of the game modes in the game if you really want to max out your gear potential in the game. And with that said, let's jump into this right at the very beginning, and we're going to talk about the basics first. Let's talk about the purple gear. I'm going to call this purple gear. It's going to be anything that gets you to Gear 12. Everything from Gear 1 to 11. I realize it's green and blue and whatever. We're just going to call it the purple gear. The gear that gets you... And right there in the picture, we've got the three main ones. The Carbantes, the gold balls, well, three of the main ones, and the Merson comlinks. I can't remember what they're called. Anyway, where are we going to find this gear? And by the way, we're going to take a look at all this stuff. We'll talk about it, and then we'll go demo every single bit of this, by the way. So, aside from your regular daily challenges, game challenges, guild events, whatever, the best place to get this gear is going to be with your Mark 1 raid currency. I don't really recommend ever spending regular energy to farm this gear in your light side or dark side battles. It's just not the way to get after this type of gear. You shouldn't use your fleet energy to farm this gear. Your Mark 1 raid currency, all of you are getting this currency. I don't care where you are in the game. This is where that currency goes, and let's go take a look at that here in the guild activities. So we're going to spend a lot of time in this store today. But if you scroll down here and take a look at this gear down here, we got the Mark 1 raid currency. Keep going, you got to go down a ways. But here it is. Here's where you can actually get credits down here. And I always buy these, by the way, the mods. Sorry if we get to mods here, but hey, this is the best place to buy cups. 10 cups for 220 of this currency. I can buy my gold balls here. Any of the gear that you need to get you up to Gear 12 is going to be available here. Not any of it, not the blue stuff, not, that stuff you're going to have to farm through regular stuff, but any of the purple or some of the gold gear that you need to get you up to Gear 12 will be available in this shop. So whenever you get this Mark 1 raid currency up here, which you get by participating in raids, that's going to be any raid you participate will get you the Mark 1 currency. The higher raid you do will get you the Mark 2 currency, and as you get up to the, when you start doing the Endor raid, you'll start getting the Mark 3 currency up here as well. So please, make sure you're participating in raids, make sure your guild is doing raids, and honestly, any guild that's over like 100, 120 million should be doing the Endor raid. If you're in a 100 million galactic power guild and they're not doing the Endor raid, you should really have a conversation with your leaders and say, we should really take a look at this, because you can get a lot of bang for your buck out of that raid just by going and participating as a guild. So that's going to cover us for us right now, just the purple gear we talk about to get us that. So that's where you're going to spend most of it here in the guild activity shop. Let's move over to our next. I want to talk about assault battles a little bit. Assault battles are a tremendous way to unlock lots of great gear in the game. Challenge Tier 1 will get you over to these pieces of gear. Your KYROTECHS and your Salvage, I can never remember what we're gonna talk about it more here in a little bit, so we'll get into it. But your salvage pieces, that's what's gonna get you. The assault battles are just a tremendous way. If you can farm your roster for assault battles, and I've got an assault battle farming guide that I put out, I think might benefit a lot of you guys. That assault battle farming, farm up for the assault battles because there's so much gear in there. Not only those, but when you get to challenge tier 2 and 3, you're getting signal data, you're getting relic gear in those levels as well. So consider looking at assault battles. If we look at assault battles right now, what's coming up on the roster on the agenda at the moment? I think Rebel Roundup, was that out there? We got Ground War coming up. So Ground War is going to be basically your Jedi. You want to get teams for these assault battles. Again, let me take this off there. I thought I get rid of all these. Hang on a second there. Sorry about that. So Ground War. Ground War is coming up. It's just one of the assault battles. There's always assault battles on their way over here, or not always, but most of the time. Get your roster ready for assault battles to get you as much of this extra gear as possible. If you think about it, there are 7 assault battles every month, I believe. There may be 8 because you do the Inquisitors twice. You can get this gear times 2, so challenge tier 1, challenge tier 2, times 8. So you can get 16 times the amount of gear that you get in one assault battle by just maxing out your assault battle roster. So get this gear, get your roster ready for assault battles. What are we going to talk about next time? We're going to talk about the left-siders. I'm going to call these the left-siders. And this is part of your Gear 12 finisher gear. That's going to be on the left side of your characters. I'll show it to you in a minute. You're going to get this in the shard shop. You're going to get it with your Mark II raid currency. You're going to use your Get 1 currency. You are not going to use regular energy. I think I should have put ship energy. Some of these are ship energy. Some of them are regular energy. Maybe, I don't remember. But anyway, don't use energy for these left-siders. You're only going to use Shard Shop energy, Mark II raid currency, and Get 1 currency for these pieces. Let's take a closer look at it first. We'll open up a character that's at Gear 12. Let's go and take a look at Marin here. I'm close to getting her relic. Here's a left-sider right here. This Mark 12 Armatech Med Pack. You can see that it's, I can't farm this? No, that's the full piece, sorry. I clicked on the full piece. Over here. Okay, these are the pieces I'm talking about. I'm like, why can't I farm this? Because you're farming these. Okay, so you can see it right here. They're available in Galactic Challenges. These pieces are available in Galactic Challenges. And they're available in 9C Normal. I don't think you should ever farm them. I'm not saying this lightly. Never farm these with energy. It's not a good investment. They're available. You're going to get them in Territory War. This is what I'm saying. Play your Galactic Challenges. Play your Territory War. And by the way, with Galactic Challenges, you don't have to max that every time. I generally, in Galactic Challenges, just a quick note here, as far as my crates go, I probably more often than not get to this crate right here, and then I stop. Unless I've just really got the teams necessary, because this gets me 2 Omicrons. And if I get 2 Omicrons every time, that's nice. And you get here's all the gear packs right here. But the gold, the red, you want to get at least that double gold band crate, the GCT8, if you can, just get yourself 2 Omicrons. A little side note there. So Galactic Challenges and Territory War, you're going to get some of this stuff. I just don't believe you should ever farm this left-sider. The left-sider gear. It's to the far left. It's all the way. It's the left side of the Gear 12 finishers. You should not spend regular energy. Now, where should you be farming this? Well, there's one right there. Look at that. Look at that. Get 2 currency. Now, you saw me a minute ago go through the shop, and I bought some of my purple gear in that guild event store. What I believe with this kind of stuff, with these Gear 12 finishers, is you should just farm it here. Farm it on the character where you need it. I'm gonna go ahead and purchase this. It's gonna cost you $425. That's fine. I don't really need a lot of it right now, but I'm gonna go ahead and purchase this because I want to show you what I mean. Buy it when you're on the character that you're working. You've got your characters marked. Buy it from the character setup, not from the store, because the store just is really challenging and difficult and makes life difficult. See, I got this one ready to go. Aside from getting my Injector Head Salvage here, which I'll get through another couple of. Again, I don't want to farm this. We'll talk about that later. I don't want to farm that with energy. We'll get all that through our assault battles. Now let's go take a look at the shops, and I'll show you what I'm talking about there. So where the shipments? Here we go. So guild activity store. What I'm saying, why I told you to do that from the character base and not by going through here. Then look at this. Look at scrolling through here. This is a mess. This is an absolute mess. Finding the piece that I want. Do I need a bunch of these? Do I need a bunch of those? I don't know. It does say that I need bayonets because I've got it on a silver flag there, or banner, I do need for a character I've got marked. That's great, but I'd rather do it character by character by character than going through here and grabbing all the gear individually. So farm it from the character setup rather than going to the store there. Where else are you going to farm that gear? As I mentioned, the guild event store. We used to preach hard and heavy in the guild event store that if you don't have gas yet and you don't have Darth Malik, save this gear up to like 60,000 to make sure you unlock them. Wampa, Hermit Yoda the same way. But now these characters are also available in the guild activity store. So you can save in 2 places for them. Now I still want to recommend that if you don't have Wampa and Hermit Yoda, they're great characters. Lord, I mean, this is crazy. We don't have Hermit Yoda, Wampa, Rebel Officer Leia Organa is needed for 3 Galactic Legends now. Probe Droid, who cares? Gas, Darth Malik, they're all available in 2 shops now, so do 2 different ways to farm them. So you can start using that Get 1 currency. This is the Get 1 currency right here that you get from territory battles mostly. You get some from territory wars too. You can use it down here to farm gear. And again, I'm going to recommend farming this from your character base rather than farming it from here. However, I do think for the most part, you can buy these here, but I think this is the main focus in the Get 1 store is this stuff. We'll talk about this gear in a minute. Then also the Shard Shop. I believe firmly, and I really believe strongly and firmly at the same time, that this is the row you mostly need to focus on in the Shard Shop. This is going to be your left sider gear. This is going to be your left side finisher gear or your finisher gear. I can't remember what I'm calling it. And other, this is the place to focus. This row here has the most valuable stuff in the Shard Shop and the most affordable stuff. It's 360 Shard Shop currency for 4 pieces. When you get up here, this stuff is really important. This gear is really important, but it just costs more. It's twice as much for the same amount of gear. And yeah, I'm not gonna say I never spend it on here. You know, if you really need the gear for the character and you're dialed in, I do spend it here. But the most efficient bang for your buck is gonna be right here in this row in the Shard Shop. And that is where you should be farming these left siders over here. Yeah, there we go. Shard Shop, Mark II raid currency, get 1, don't farm them with energy. Now let's talk about your finishers. I'm trying to come up with names for this stuff because all this stuff is Gear 12 finishing gear that we see in our characters. We'll go back to Marin here as well. These I'm going to call the finishers, and you're going to do, it's the same thing, guys, and I'm not going to go into detail. It's the Shard Shop, it's the Mark II raid currency, it's the Get 1. It is the same idea behind it. It's in the same places I just showed you in those shops. That row I showed you in the Shard Shop currency, the places you should farm it with your Mark II raid currency from the character palettes. I don't know what this is called, from the character page, and your Get 1 currency. This is what you should be using for the finishers, and let me show you some of these. And you should know what these are, but they're over here. This is the finisher. So Gear 12 finishers, and this is what finishes off these sets. And they're in 5 out of 6 of these. You're going to find them over and over and over and over and over again over here. She's only got these types. Let's see if GeoBrute Alpha has some different types over here. Okay, he's got the same types as well. There we go. There's some Mark 7 of the discs. Here's some Mark 7 of the hair dryers. So yeah, you're gonna farm these, and again, they're farmed in the exact same places I just showed you for the left side finishers. Finishers and left side finishers are all farmed in the same place. I don't believe you should ever, and this would be ship energy. I didn't put it on there, but I don't believe you should be using ship energy for these unless you absolutely have to and you're really lacking in them. But stay ahead of it. Whenever you can get those in the Shard Shop, you should be buying those. Now, let me take back one thing I said. I said you should be only farming those from the character page. I'm going to back up a little bit and talk about the Shard Shop for a moment. I do believe that when you get into that Shard Shop and when the Shard Store and you're looking there and you've got a bunch of Shard Store currency, if you're coming up short on any of these that you need a lot, you don't need a ton of these actually, these little circle boom boxes here. You don't need a ton of these, that's why I've got a lot. You do need a ton of these hair dryers here. So if you're coming up short, or you can actually just farm them when you're doing your dailies and going through the shops, and I do that all the time. But as far as the other stores, the Get 1 currency and the Mark II raid currency, I'm generally farming those straight from the character pages and not going through the shops to do that. But Shard Shop, I'll grab those if I'm looking a little bit light when I get to the Shard Shop. All right, what about these big finishers? We just talked about that a little bit. And we'll go look at Marin and Brood Alpha for these. These, again, Mark II raid currency. Ship energy, I am going to say, I do farm a lot of ship energy for these. We'll talk about that shortly. Shard Shop currency, we mentioned here briefly a minute ago that these are the more expensive pieces, so you got to pick and choose your spots. when you farm these spend more, the 720 for 4 pieces as opposed to 360 for 4 pieces. And the get to currency you're going to use for this, sometimes get to currency. I'm not going to do a lot of that, but sometimes get to currency. And we'll talk about more of that in a minute. So here is my Mark 12 Armatech data pad prototype. I never, by the way, just FYI, I got nicknames for a bunch of these. A bunch of them I don't remember what they're called. I would probably call this a notepad if I saw it, or an iPad. Here, this is what I'm talking about. It's available for Mark II currency right now. I've only got 27. I'm going to go ahead and buy it. I don't need them anymore for Marin, but, you know, I'm going to do that. Now, I will do this. I will spend, if I have spent my ship energy on all my other farms, or other farms that are really important to me, there are character farms in the game that you're going to farm with ship energy. Emphas Nest, Shock T, B1 Battle Droid, Grief Karga. You're going to, I think he's now in the regular energy too, but you're going to spend ship energy for characters and ships, obviously. If you spent all that energy on the characters and ships for the day, now is the time to go spend some on these big finishers. I didn't get any there. That's why it's maybe your last resort that you want to do for that energy. So I will say, yeah, you can use the ship energy for these. Make sure you farm all your other stuff with the ship energy first. And as you get later in the game, you're not going to have as much stuff to farm with that ship energy. You'll finish all those farms. So then you're going to really just start investing all your ship energy every day in these big finishers for your currency. Mark II Raid Shard Shop we covered. Let's talk about Get To a little bit. And that's going to be your guild event tokens 2 that you get from doing the Geo territory battles or Rise of the Empire territory battles here in guild events. Now, I did say that you can farm these big finishers with Get To currency, right? However, I think that only comes into play when you're looking really good on KYROTECHS. And we're going to address KYROTECHS for sure here later on. So if you're sitting on 1,000 KYROTECHS, maybe then it's okay to go use that Get To currency for some of these big finishers. If you're short on KYROTECHS, I really think that this is the place to buy KYROTECHS here instead of that. But we covered the rest of it. Let's take a look at your middle finishers now. Middle finishers going to be in the middle of those big finishers on the right side, but they're the middle piece, and it's going to be the exact same thing here, guys. It's the exact same guidance I just said for the middle finishers. Let's go back to Marin. Let's look at somebody different. Let's go over to Night Sister Zombie. We're on a Night Sister kick today. We're finishing up the Night Sisters for our assault battles, which I told you guys to do. Assault battle farming, it's important. Over here on the right side, here's the big finisher on the left. Here's the middle finisher here. You're going to be grabbing these, like I mentioned, your Get To currency. I don't have any of that right now. You can use crystals if you're a crystal person. I never use crystals on my free-to-play account. If I've spent 5,000 crystals on gear over the last 3 years, I'd be shocked. I would be shocked by that. I have bought it some every now and then when it's a final push, but I rarely farm that. If you're buying crystals, yeah, you can do this. You can use crystals to buy it, and it can make sense for your roster, okay? Again, you can use your ship energy for these. I really think for these, mostly on the middle finishers, you're getting more of these from like territory battles, territory wars, conquest, galactic challenges. I'm mostly on these. I'll stick with the Mark II raid currency. And now that I say, and the Shard Shop is expensive for these too, so mostly for me on these, it's Mark II raid currency, and the other ones are really backups if I need to get them. And I'll show them to you here on the Shard Shop as well. Let's go take a look at the Shard Shop again. Again, guys, we're spending a lot of time in the guild events, guild activity, and Shard Shop, because that's where most of your farming is going to be. Here are these right here. These are the 2 pieces right here. These are going to be these middle finishers that we're talking about. And you can see that they cost just as much as the big finishers. So, you know, see where you are on those. I don't do a lot of farming here. I do end up getting most of those. Most of those are going to be from Get To currency and all my other activities I'm doing in the game. My guild activities and other game modes I'm playing. Hey, what about your salvages? I don't know. Anyway, guys, you're going to get these salvage pieces. I don't know what my brain block is. Salvage, they're injector salvage pieces. I don't know why I cannot get injector salvage, injector salvage. Maybe it's because I don't like injecting myself with stuff, because, you know, I do when I need to, but You're gonna get, this is Injector Salvage. So this is gonna be, I'm gonna say, I didn't put the assault battles here because we already talked about assault battles. Primarily, your farming for these will be assault battles. If you do all, say, 8 assault battle rounds every month, you're gonna get 40 of these. You're gonna get 40 of each of these at the top. And you need 50 to finish each character. 50, to take a character to relics, you need 50 of each of these. So you're gonna get 40 a month if you're completing all the assault battles. I know that's a tall order. Most of us aren't completing all the assault battles. But if you don't have them, the only other way to get these guys is through crystals, crystal purchases. I guess you can get them in the championship store. I highly don't recommend that. And then energy. I do spend energy farming these because when I need them, and I've got to have them, and I don't want to spend crystals to get them, I'm spending energy. So really, assault battles is your primary source of these, and then it's energy. You're also going to get them in territory battles as well. Assault battles, territory battles, and then energy if you absolutely have to. You can buy them. You can buy them. I realize that if you want to spend 20 bucks, I can get 25 of each of them. That's not a horrible deal, honestly. I don't like that's not a horrible deal. These can be really challenging down the road if you really, you're short on them, and they can really make you nuts. So, yeah, there's your salvage pieces. Aside from assault battles, territory battles, mostly with energy. Hopefully you don't have to spend a lot of energy on them because it's a tough, brutal way to spend your energy. We'll talk more about the ideal place to spend your energy. It's coming up, I promise. It's coming up. Hey, what about your signal data? Okay, let's back up a moment. That's all of our Gear 12 finishers, okay? We talked about everything from your left-siders to your finishers, to your big finishers, to your middle finishers, and to your Injector Salvage and KYROTECHS. I guess I should do KYROTECHS next. Let's talk about those. Where are the... I didn't bring in the KYROTECH images? Uh-oh. I'll be right back. All right, we're back. Now let's talk about KYROTECHS. This was difficult. This wasn't difficult. There was a lot of graphics to put together. I missed one. By the way, I'm going to make this one big giant graphic available in my Discord. I'll put the link in the video. And if you've gotten to this point of the video, I appreciate you. Thanks for paying attention to the channel. Make sure to like and subscribe. When you like and subscribe to this channel, a lot of good things can happen in your life, as evidenced by my viewers. People that have liked, subscribed, donated, they've followed over on Twitch. We stream over on Twitch as well. Twitch, YouTube, dual streaming. People that do good things for this channel have good things follow them in their lives. The blessings will follow you by following and doing things for the channel. So thank you for liking and subscribing. Let's talk about these KYROTECHS. So KYROTECHS are going to be farmed. Now, this is a really interesting one, and I really am excited to talk about these KYROTECHS. I don't know why, but I'm really excited about it. So from your regular energy, your Grand Arena, and your Mark II raid currency, do not ever, for the length of your time on the planet, use your Mark II raid currency to farm KYROTECHS. And I'm going to show you all of this right now between the energy and the Mark II raid currency. Let's go to my primary source for KYROTECHS. Sort of. I'll talk about that in a minute too. There's more coming. All of this stuff goes together. But my primary two sources for KYROTECHS, Grand Arena energy. I only spend this energy on KYROTECHS and nothing else ever. Only KYROTECHS. Only KYROTECHS. Grand Arena energy. Get it through your thick skulls. Only KYROTECHS. Nothing else should you spend this on. And usually the laptop KYROTECHS, I'll tell you why in a minute. Then you can spend your guild event tokens, your get to currency. Once you've got your malevolence and your negotiator done, I'm going to go back to it again. Your highest priority in here, above all others, is your KYROTECH farming. KYROTECHS. Get to KYROTECHS. You do need malevolence and negotiator. I think those should be your first farms in here. Rebel Officer Leia Organa is now available with that. Mark II raid currency. Same for Gas, Mark II. Same for Malik, Mark II. Hermit Otawampa, Mark II raid. You can get them all with the raid currency. You can supplement that here. It's not a horrible idea, especially when it's get one for these other guys. I don't really like the get to currency for Rebel. I think you should just stick with the Mark II currency, and then you get her every other month in the I don't remember what it's called, the Galactic Bounties or something. So Get 2 currency, KYROTECHS, KYROTECHS, KYROTECHS after you've got Negotiator and Malevolence unlocked. Maybe Rebel Officer Layer again if you need to, okay? And then we're going to talk about, what was my other option here was energy, okay? So before we get to that, let's go take a look at the Guild Activity Store and why you should never farm KYROTECHS with this Mark II currency here. Let's scroll down a little bit here. Scroll down a little bit here. Where is it? Where are the KYROTECHS, my friend? Where are the KYROTECHS? I know they're in here. I know they're in here. I know they're in. Did I skip over them? Where are the KYROTECHS? Are they in here? I know they're in here. I thought they were in here. Are they not? Have I just boondoggled this? Hold on a second. I really thought the KYROTECHS were farmable with that, and I might be completely wrong. Let's see. One of the others should be in there if they're available. Oh, it's the Get 3. I'm gonna check one time here. It's the Get 3 currency. That's my mistake. My goodness, Nooch too bad. Nooch too dumb here. Let's check the laptops. Let's check the laptops. Yeah, there they are. Oh, thank God I was right. I just overlooked them. Okay, look at this. Look at this, guys. I gotta go back to 2,000 Mark II currency for 5 KYROTECHS? Get out the door. And I only need 5 to get to 200 here. I'm not touching that bad boy. That's horrible. Horrible, horrible, horrible. 5 of your other ones is like 500 or 450 or something. Never farm. I thought I messed up, but never farm KYROTECHS with your Get 2 currency. And with that Get 3 currency, I guess if you finished everything else, you can farm KYROTECHS with it. But everything else is going to be Ki-Adi-Mundi and Darth Maul and Ahsoka, Commander Ahsoka. So, but never do this. Never, ever. I don't care. I don't care what's happening in your life. I don't care how low you are, how sad you are. Never use your Mark II. Man, I scared myself it wasn't a thing, but never use your Mark II raid currency to get yourself some KYROTECHS. Let's move on to signal data because that finishes off. All of our Gear 12 finishers are now complete. That's the entire Gear 12 finisher part. Signal data. The bane of all existence. There's only one place to get it, as far as I know. And it's, I mean, you get it from participating, right? Like I said, all your game modes participating, you're gonna get signal data. But man, are you gonna be doing a lot of Cantina farming for signal data, my friends. There's no way to get around it. You need all of these. Yeah, oh, I've still got it up there. You need all of the signal data. And as far as I know, when I click on signal data, let's go back and click on it again because I had it covered. As far as I know, when you click on signal data, you can find it in for crystals, ground wars, like I said, assault battles. I showed it to you. Cantina energy, and then you're just paying for it. And then you're just paying for it. Okay, you get some in your territory battles, fine. Maybe some in territory wars, I don't remember, but you're gonna spend a lot of time. And this is why Cantina farms. Get the 7-star characters, Cantina farm for whatever farm you're doing, and then flip over to signal data and start farming those bad boys. You know, this is why you gotta plan ahead. You've got to have your signal data farming planned well in advance here, so that when you get all, you gotta get the characters farmed. There's always a Cantina farm for characters in every farm. For Jabba, there's a bunch. For anybody, every farm you do, there's a Cantina farm character that uses the same energy here. You got to plan ahead so you get those characters to 7 stars, and you got them to 7 stars, then you flip over and so you start farming signal data. And for end game players, all their farming in here with their Cantina energy is signal data, signal data, signal data. That's the only thing that they farm in the game. Signal data is going to be farmed with your energy, assault battles, and other game modes. That's the only place to find it. Now let's start talking about your relic materials, your Carbonite circuit boards. That's the very first one that you're going to farm. Again, we are here once again. Never, ever, ever, ever throughout the history of your life until the day you die, never, ever, ever, ever farm this with Mark II raid currency. I'll show you that in a minute. You're going to farm this. And you're gonna scavenge this, or you're gonna craft this in the scavenger shop, the Jawa scavenger. We'll start there. To get the stuff to craft it in the scavenger shop, you're gonna do mainly. You're gonna get it through all your game modes you're playing, but mainly if you're farming it, and I am farming it on this roster right now, because I need it. I'm low, and I'll show you in a second. Light side 1D is your primary source to get the stuff to craft your Carbonite circuit boards, and your secondary source is Fleet Battles 2C. Now let's go take a look at that. I'm going to flip over to the other side of the screen for this little bit right here. Like and subscribe, everybody. Okay, here we are with the Carbonite circuit boards. I've only got 39 of them. That's not very many, and I need more Carbonite circuit boards. Where am I going to get those? As I mentioned, you're going to start in the Jawa scavenger shop. Okay, let's go over to that Jawa scavenger shop. Here we are. To get those, I need to get these Mark 1 furnaces, Mark 1, I never know what to call these, Mark 1 these jobbies, foot massagers, and Mark 1 iPads, right? These are the pieces I needed. Guess where all 4 of these are? Guess where if I hold down my button and I click on here, and I click on find, guess where all of these are? Light side 1D. Look at that. They're all right there. They're all right there. And so, I've been simming this node for about a week now. Maybe a little less than a week, maybe a little more, I don't know. Look at all the stuff you get there. Look at all that. I've been refreshing this and simming because I'm so low on these Carbonite circuit boards right now. 90 of the furnaces, 10 of the iPads, 18 foot massagers, and 40 of the... Don't know what that is. You're getting so much less material out of there, and you can farm it. Just take a week off. If you need a bunch of Carbonite circuit boards, take a week off and farm this stuff. This is where you get it. This is where you get it. And I'm going to go ahead and we're going to take a look at... I've been working on my Phoenix here to get them to Relic 5. And Harrison Dula is stuck at Relic 1. I want to get her to a Relic 3 so I can start using some Datacrons on her. And now that I've got these... Oh boy, I need Bronzium Wiring. But I can get a... So let's do all this in one shot. So let me go back over to the left side here. This is where all the graphics are at. I don't have them over there. I need Bronzium Wiring, my friends. Well, where am I going to get Bronzium Wiring? Well, it's a similar kind of setup. Again, do not use your Mark II Ray currency. We'll look at that this time, I promise. It'll be first thing we look at. Regular Energy Light Side 7B. Now, there's something interesting about Regular Energy Light Side 7B. You know what that is? That's right. Your Light Side Shock Prod KYROTECHS are in the same node. So, when you have extra regular energy and you're looking for something to farm, go right to that light side. You need a gazillion KYROTECHS. A gazillion. You're going to go right to light side 7B because you're also going to get the stuff you need to get Bronzium Wiring in there. Let's go take a look at all of this right now. So what we're going to do first is I'm going to show you the Mark II Ray currency, okay? And then we're going to come back here and do some upgrades on Hera. The Mark II Ray currency. It's crazy, ridiculous, expensive in here. Let's find it. I'm going to find me some Bronzium Wiring. There we go. Carbonite circuit boards, 800 for 2, 1200 for 3. This is horrible. Never, ever, 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 for the existence of your life until the end of time, until the sun is blotted out from the sky, which actually is happening next month. We're getting a solar eclipse. It's going right near here. And I saw the last one. It was really cool. It was right by where I live. Go watch that solar eclipse. It's a lot of fun if you live right here in the Americas where it's going through. Hey, if it's a 2-hour drive for you, take a day off work, drive. You won't regret it. It's a great experience. Watch the solar eclipse. And they tell you never to look directly at it. They give you these things. But when the moon actually blots out the sun, you can actually look at it at that point for just a couple of seconds. Really, really cool. Anywho, never, ever, ever use Mark II Ray currency for Carbonite circuit boards, for Bronzium Wiring, for Chromium Transistors, or for Aurodium Heatsinks. These should never, ever, 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 ever be farmed here. That'll cover all those. We're going to be looking at a lot of them here in a moment. Now, what else was that? Oh, let's go look at that energy node. Actually, let's go look at the scavenger. Look at the scavenger. Okay, so let's get over to my Bronzium Wiring here. So let me go over to the other side again. Sure. So Bronzium Wiring, here it is right here. Now this part I can find. And where can I find it? Oh, in a bunch of places. It's in a bunch of places. That's great. Boop, 7B normal right here. Look at those beautiful KYROTECHS. So I can farm for my these bigger pieces. My Bronzium Wiring, I can farm for that while also farming light side KYROTECHS. But there's more. Nowhere else to farm the rest of these pieces, guys. Where do you find this? Nowhere. You don't spend this currency on it. It's actually not a horrible exchange rate, actually, now that I look at it, but that's for KYROTECHS. Where do I find this one? Nowhere. Where do I find... Let's get right down here. A random one. Where do I find this one? Nowhere. Well, you can get shard shop currency. Okay. I'm not big on doing shard shop currency for that. Look at that. 336 for 2 of them? No. That's horrible. Don't do that. I didn't even... In fact, I don't do that so often that I didn't even know it was there. Now, you can farm this stuff down here, but this is the less efficient kind of stuff. Can you? Let's see. You can farm this, but this is a less efficient farm. You'll see it's here with some cuffs and some other stuff. That's just a less efficient farm. The most efficient way to do it is to farm your light side KYROTECHS on light side 7C with these pieces to get yourself some Bronzium Wiring when you're going to get it. And Bronzium Wiring becomes really difficult over time. It's a difficult farm. But let's go grab ourselves some Bronzium Wiring in the game right now. I know that I need it for Hera Syndulla. I want to try to get Hera Syndulla to Relic 3 today. So let's go take a look at our characters right now. When you finish up, as I mentioned previously, when you finish up all of your farming, and we'll go back over here to the regular one because I'm going to need to have a graphic in a minute. You're going to go over here. You're going to grab, this should be your extra light side energy farm all of the time. The laptop KYROTECHS get with your other methods we talked about. These squid KYROTECHS, as I call them, or shock prod KYROTECHS. This should be your, if you have extra energy to farm, this should be your farm. Now, I am maxed out at 100. I'm actually not going to do that right now because I used it earlier a minute ago for other stuff. As you watched me do it in a minute, I should have saved some of it, but I didn't. So I'm maxed out. I'm not going to spend the 100. But let's go upgrade a Hera Syndulla right now, show you how we take care of that with your gear farming. Because what gear farming guide would be complete if we didn't actually show you getting some of these Jawa scavenger stuff actually completed while we're working in the game. So again, we need Bronzium Wiring. Don't spend this on the Bronzium Wiring. I'm not going to spend crystals either. I'm going to go to the scavenger shop. The scavenger shop. I'm going to do 50 of these. I'm going to go boom and grab 50 of those. That's 11. I'm going to convert those. Thank you very much. I'm going to go ahead and grab some more of these. 50 of those. 50 of those. I've got them. And then it's going to get a little dicey from there. We'll go ahead and grab. I mean, I'm grasping at straws here, my friends. 50 of those. Just scroll down a little bit. These are available too. I don't want to use any of those across the top row. I can use some of these. No, not those. Not the Mark IVs. Don't use these. These. If I go here, by the way, these across the top row and these Mark IV comlinks, whatever, these are really valuable pieces. You can do the Mark V, the pellet guns sometimes because you do farm a lot of those. But there are some valuable pieces in here. You'll get to know them. And those are the main ones. Is that top row, these Mark IV pieces, and these right here can be pretty valuable too. So I wouldn't recommend it. Yeah. So pay attention. Let's go and convert these. And let's go take Hera Syndulla to Relic 3 on our roster. So I'm going to go ahead and go back. I clicked the button on the other screen. Go back there. Oh, we forgot to do this. Let's get our Carbonite circuit boards too. So again, no! Again, okay. What does I say? No! Okay, then we go over to the scavenger. We got a bunch of this, because I've been doing this for so long. There you go. Carbonite circuit boards. Just saying. I'm just saying that's how you do that. You take a week off, you farm that light side 1D, and boom, you get yourself done. Let's go over here. Oh, I gotta go back over here because we're using this and you can't see it. Alright, we're taking Hera to Relic 3 right now. I really needed her at Relic 3 just so I could use a Datacron, you know, max out or extend that Datacron usage. Now I need some more Bronzium Wiring. I'll have to come back and farm some more down the road. So, and you don't want to see me do this. You know, I'm not here just to do that, to craft all day long and all day long. So, there's your Carbonite circuit boards and Bronzium Wirings. Let's talk about Chromium Transistors. Chromium Transistors, again, don't use your Mark II Ray currency, but there's a very, very simple way to farm these, and you will never be lacking for Chromium Transistors. Never, ever in your life will you lack for Chromium Transistors. In the Guild Activity Store, you're going to scroll down. Every time you log in, this refreshes every 6 hours. Every time you get your stuff, and you go through your shops, check this box right here for the Mark 7 Blastech Weapon mod. You get 10 of these for 150 of your guild event. What is this? It's not guild event. It's just guild tokens. This is hands down out of any deal in the game that you can get, the absolute best pound for pound, buck for buck farming you can do in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. And I'm going to show it to you right now. You will never need chromium transistors if you just do this every day of your blessed life. And it's only available, you're going to get these available like 3 or 4 days a week max. 3 or 4 days a week max. Over to the scavenger shop. And here we are. And by the way, I messed this up. I think I'm going to put that blooper at the beginning of this. So here we are. You buy these. Here they are. That's the piece I was talking about right there. This is it. The Mark 7 Blast Tech Weapon Mod that you just purchased for almost nothing in the Guild Activity Store is right here. You get those. I popped 50 of them. I didn't do that right. 50. Boom. 170. It's actually 167. Hold on. I popped 50 of them. This is exhausting. 167 chromium transistors. You will never need chromium transistors in the game if you do this simple thing. It is the cheapest, easiest piece of any gear, relic or not, to farm in the game. Bam, you convert them. You'll never be in need of chromium transistors. It's super duper easy in the game. What is next up for us? Aurodium Heatsinks. More relic stuff to get. Aurodium Heatsinks, again, never do Mark II raid currency. Aurodium Heatsinks are going to be done by in the scavenger shop. And I didn't really put all the places to farm. I kind of showed the method here. Let's go back down to the scavenger shop here. The way that you do Aurodium Heatsinks is you farm up a bunch of these Mark III Holoprojector Salvage. And by the way, we covered this back at the very beginning with the purple gear. You get this with your Mark II raid currency. You get it by doing your daily challenges, your what. You're just going to get this all over the place. But whenever you got this available and you got some extra Mark II raid currency, buy these Mark III Senior Holoprojector Salvage pieces, the discs, the whatever. You buy those, okay? Then, do you spend them on your Aurodium Heatsinks? No! If I spend, this is what we're going to do. This is the base level. If I spend 20 of these on an Aurodium Heatsink, I get 2 Aurodium Heatsinks. And actually, I think it's... Yeah, I just barely get 2 of them. Okay? Don't do this! What you're going to do instead is click on the crafted piece here, the Mark III Senior Holoprojector, and you're going to craft them. Click on craft. You'll take this, and it takes 20 to craft one. Craft. You'll see that 439, craft, 419, craft, 399, craft, craft, craft. It takes 20 to do, so you remember, 20 of them was 2 Aurodium Heatsinks, right? Well, guess what? One of these is 5. So use your 20 pieces to craft this one piece and get 5 per each of these one pieces. And that is how you get Aurodium Heatsinks. And Aurodium Heatsinks, you're going to be able to get a bunch of those. You'll be able to have those on hand or go get them if you don't need them. You're going to be able to find, I mean, these, finding this, let's go to here. Finding these is very easy. They're all over the place. Crystals there. You can get them with, you can farm with energy, which I don't recommend. You can get them with the Mark II raid currency. That's what you want to buy with your Mark II raid currency. You'll get these all over the place. So that's how you're going to get your Aurodium Heatsinks in the game. Let's move on to what is next. And you know what? This is it. This is the end of our video. If you've been here the whole time, thank you for hanging on. I know this is a long one, but we want to cover everything. We want to be thorough and tell you where to farm everything. Again, the graphic will be in my Discord. Like and subscribe. Make good things happen in your life. I've got all the other pieces up here. The Zinbiddles, the Whatsies, the Whoosies, the Droid Brains, the Aeromagnifiers, I never get them all right. I can't remember all the names here. They're all up here. This is the rest of the pieces you're going to farm to get yourself. These come into play when you get up to, I think, when you start, they start coming to play at Relic 4. Let's go take a look here. I'm going to check it. Mark III raid, and there's other, by the way, that's not the only place, but Mark III raid currency, to me, is the main place you're going to get all this currency. I'm looking it up as we're talking, so I can address this. Give me somebody that's Relic 4 right now. I need somebody that's Relic 4. I don't know if I have anybody in my roster that's Relic 4, actually. Believe it or not. I think there's got to be somebody down here that's Relic 4 that is needed for a character. I can't find anybody Relic 4. It's a sad day when you can't find anybody Relic 4. I could take somebody Relic 4, but I don't have any Bronzium Wiring, so At either Relic 4 or Relic 5, you're going to start seeing, you're going to need these, okay? You're going to need these pieces. There's your chromium, and I'm at Relic 3 right there. When I go to somebody that's Relic 5, let's pop over here. Relic 5. Okay, we'll take a look at Cyan. He's Relic 5. So at Relic 5, you're going to start needing these Electrum conductors. I believe that's the first place. Yeah, that is. It's the first place you need them. So Relic 5, Relic 6, Relic 7, Relic 8. These are where you need these pieces. These Mark III Raid Farm, these Relic Finisher pieces. And I really, truly believe the best place you're going to get these is your Mark III Raid currency, because it's going to save the rest of your gear. And let me show you what I'm talking about. If I go into the guild event store, and yeah, I don't always, this is, I do craft, hang on a second. Some of you are yelling, you craft. I get it. So I buy these here. I buy all of them here. When I get my Mark III raid currency, I got 40 Zimbittles right now. I got 54 of these. Let's get myself up to close to 60. Now I got 59 of them, okay? So I got 59 electric. I got 40 Zimbittles. I kind of round these off as I go. I got 64 impulse. I have a bunch of arrow magnifiers from Territory War, which you can get when your guild's at a certain level. And also, back in the day, the Sith raid, the Challenge Rancor raid was giving everybody these. So a bunch of people that have a bunch of these. Gerda keypads, I got those there. You know, this is a great place for Gerda keypads. Otherwise, the only way to get this gear is to craft it in the scavenger shop. And I'm definitely not going to say that you should not do this. This is a legitimate way to get this gear. In fact, let's go ahead and do this right now. I'm going to I've got 183 of these chest plates right here. I'm going to go ahead and do 10 of them and convert them into 2 Electrum conductors. Now I've got 60 Electrum conductors. This is a perfectly legitimate way, and all of these, crafting these is a legitimate way to get these pieces. Now, as I say this, it's really difficult to invest these pieces. You know, you need these pieces for so many characters. I'm gonna do 50 of these. 50 of these will get me to 70 impulse detectors, and I'm gonna do it right now. I'm gonna do it right in front of you. But look at the investment. Look at the investment. If you're low on these, what are they called? These give you health. These give you, I don't know. These give you attack, offense, whatever. The conversion rates here are none of the conversion rate. Even the Mark III guild event tokens, it's not a good conversion rate. You don't get a lot of good conversion rates over here. But, and man, you need a lot of furnaces. You need a lot of guns, and you need more of these iPads, but you need, the furnaces are the Carbantes of the end game. So, it is perfectly legitimate to craft these pieces to get yourself all of these pieces. I'm not doing this one right now, by the way. But they're just really, really expensive. And you have to make sure that you're set up for the future. You know, you hoard and you hoard and you save and you save. And then you got to go spend a bunch of these to go get, 10 Zimbittles. It can really drive at your soul. But they're just going to be expensive. Again, play all the game modes. Get into a good guild. That's going to help you get these pieces as well. And that is going to wrap up our guild farming guide for our gear farming guide for 2024. I hope this helps you. I'm going to put timestamps in for each one of these. I'll put the graphic on my Discord. Boys, girls, ladies, gentlemen, please, if you need help, you can always ask somebody in my Discord, anywhere else. This is a community of people that love to help you. I hope that this helps a lot of you in game. You've been asking for this. Please have yourself a wonderful day. I will definitely be talking to you very, very soon. And of course, as you go throughout your life and you like and subscribe and you do all the wonderful things for your family that you can do, always remember, Nooch too good. Now let's go over to the scavenger shop. Let's take a look at our Chromium Transistors. I have 120 of these. This is where the fun begins. This is where the magic happens.
All too easy.
All too easy. 50 of these, 167 Chromium Transistors. If you do that, if you buy those for 100, every time you see, I've got 1,100 of them right now. If you buy those every time you see them, you will never lack for Chromium Transistors in the game. Never. And I didn't show you any of that. Oh my goodness, I gotta redo that. Oh my gosh. Okay, hang on.